Hello everybody, I'm Steve and welcome to Green Side Up, the home edition again. Yes, I'm here in the greenhouse at home and I want to show you my sweet peas. I put a video out, I think it was 8 days ago when I sowed these, and I impressed upon everybody how to use the Eagle sweet peas method of sowing, and it's what I do every year, apart from one little thing where I like to soak the seeds because it's something I've always done. Even though the Eagle sweet peas method tells you not to use dry seeds, well anyway, I'll show you the results now. I'm going to unveil it for you. These have been sat on my kitchen floor for the last 8 days and I've now fetched them out into the greenhouse. So let's have a look. Okay, so these trays were filled with compost. They were then watered to soak them, and by doing so that lowers the level of the compost, so about 3/4 full of soaked compost. You then put the seeds on top, fill up with dry compost, and then you just leave it. You cover it with this newspaper just to keep the moisture in, and you don't water at all until you've seen germination. Well, I have germination now. I'll just fetch them out, so now for the reveal. Okay, the little fuzzy bits, they're the slug pellets that were on top, and you can see over here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 or so out of, I don't know, about 30 odd trays, cells, 30 odd cells you can just see through there. But this line down the front, remember if you watch the other video, I put this marker in here as this line down the front was the one where the seeds were dry. All those back I'd soaked because that's what I've always done. But I think you can clearly see here that actually putting in the dry seed is the way to go. Because look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of 8 cells have all germinated and they're all up. Now I have no doubt that the rest of those will come because, as I say, that's how I've always done it and it's always worked. But that shows you categorically that what Eagle sweet peas are telling you to do and not what I'm doing is the correct way. I just can't help myself. I just look at those seeds and think the seed coat is so hard, I'm going to soak them first. But there you go, there's the results. You don't need to. So there we go. So they're going to stay out here in the greenhouse now and uncovered. I might cover them tonight for a couple of days, actually thinking about it, because we have got some frost coming. So I should just leave them like that for now, and we'll get on with some seed sowing. Right, I've got a little bit of a problem here, and it's a perennial problem really, to be honest. It's what all gardeners suffer every year, called seeditis, I think. But every year for the last 5 or 6 years I've gone out. I adore cosmos. I think they're a brilliant plant. You get so many cut flowers off them and they fill a space. So you put one plant in and it can fill a space 3 foot by 3 foot by 3 foot. Smashing hole filler, flowers up its head off all summer long. You couldn't ask for better. Every year I buy a new packet and every year I don't finish the packet. The result is that I've got, I don't know, 8, 9 or 10 different varieties. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do the only sensible things. I'm going to sow the lot. What do you think I'm going to do? So we'll crack on with these. Right, this is one I sowed last year, and I think it's the only one I sowed last year, to be honest. And this one's called Dazzler. And I first got the hint about this one from the Sarah Raven site, but these seeds came straight from the Premier Seeds direct site. So I'm just going to fill one of these little drills up with the seeds. And what I'm intending on doing this year is, after all my Cosmos seeds are up and done, apart from the Premier Seeds ones, which are these and some Purity I've got there, any that I don't sow and grow are going to be thrown out. I won't give them away because I won't give bad germinating seeds to somebody else. You don't want to give old seeds away if you can help it. So I shall just chuck them. But I only need, I don't know, half a dozen plants down the allotments, and the same at home. And I'm going to get hundreds. So these will end up being given away. So I'm just going to fill this tray up and see what we get from them, really. Grow whatever comes, we'll get something. And a lot of these seeds, as I say, that I don't know, 7, 8 years old. Some of these are 2014, for heaven's sake, 2013 even. So yeah, I'll just keep going really, throw the rest. And it's the same really with the rest of my seed box as well. I've got so many old seeds that it's time to be renewing. So that's what I'm going to be spending my time on late this year, sort of August onwards. I'll start collecting the seeds up that I need for next year and start getting rid of some old seeds. In the meantime, I'll put these back in the packets, because if they do alright, I will pass them on if I get good germination. But my feeling is that some of these are so old that it won't be any good at all. I'm expecting maybe 1 or 2 plants from each drill there, and then all you do is just cover these over, and that's them sown. I'll continue sowing the rest of this tray off camera, and then come back and we'll get on with the brassicas, and that'll be a good job of good one. Oh well, I don't know who left me in control of the camera, but it was some idiot who forgot to press record when he was sowing his brassicas. So I've gone along, sown them all, not recorded it. But to be fair, the tray was set up exactly the same as the Cosmos, and I put the furrows in. I say it's sieve compost, I wetted it, put the furrows in, and then I've sown the seed. Now what I have sown here is golden acre cabbage, red acre cabbage, collie siciliana, which is like, in case you haven't heard of it, it's a violet collie. Collie, a self-blanching variety, and a collie all year round, and a Cavallero kale, Brussels sprouts of course, and yellow chard. Now the only one that's missing from that lineup is my broccoli, and couldn't find them, so I'll have to make a note and dig those out. Now I've sown them in these furrows again because it's space saving, and as the little seedlings grow up I'll put them on into modules, and from modules they'll go into pots, and then from the pots they'll go out into the garden. Now I'll also be sowing brassicas in 2 other places as well. Those who were with me, subscribed to my channel this time last year, will know that I sowed brassicas directly into the soil in the polytunnel, and I had a good success rate with that. I'll be doing that again this year, but just with a fewer varieties and using less space. I found that last year it took up far too much space and was using space that I was wanting other things for. So it will be on a much reduced basis this year. And because I've also mentioned it in recent videos when I talked about temporary cold frames outside and about how you can get a reasonable crop out fairly quickly from one, I'll be sowing in one of the cold frames outside as well, and we'll aim to get a crop of radishes out as soon as possible, and we'll grow a couple of other varieties just to grow on as seedling plants, so that they could be transplanted directly from that soil into a bed elsewhere. So that's what I'll be doing with that. So I'll say this has been watered, seed sown, covered, and I'll just give this a sprinkle over the top, and that's there we go, and that's good to go, and we'll just leave them to get on with it now. Sorry you missed the actual sowing of them, but I'll sack the cameraman. I'll tell him to go and make a cup of tea, eh? Right, so there we have it. They're on the propagator bed now, along with everything else on the water to water them, so it all keeps everything warm. Incidentally, this propagator, again, I keep mentioning this bench. Many of the propagators you get out there have a sort of 10, 12, 15 degree lift from what is ambient. So if you're in a temperature room of say 20 degrees inside, then it will lift all the way up to 32, 35, somewhere around there. This will lift to whatever temperature I set it at, and I don't know if you can quite see it in the sun. No, it doesn't look like it, but it will actually keep heating until it achieves that temperature that I set for it. So that's it for this one. We've had the look at the sweet peas, I've sown the Cosmos, tried to show you the sowing of the brassicas, but I've shown you the end result. So that's it for this one, and we'll get back to you in a day or so. Take care everyone, please stay safe. Ta-ra now.